Cured curb flashing using seam tape. Another option to complete the curb is to utilize Weatherbond seam tape for flashing membrane seams. For mechanically attached systems, fasten a 2 3/8 inch plate and HP WX fastener at the center of the base of the curb on all sides of the curb. Fully adhered systems do not require this fastener and plate. To determine the length of your flashing, measure the circumference of the curb and add a minimum of 4 inches. To determine the width of the flashing, add a minimum of 5 inches from the edge of the securement extending to the top of the curb. This specific curb will require a continuous piece of cured membrane approximately 18 inches wide by 77 inches long. Your curb's measurements will probably be different. Your curb's vertical seam will be on the corner of the curb. To determine the location of your deck seam, mark the membrane at 5 inches. Prime the area around the base of the curb, 4 inches out from the edge of the securement plate, with TPO primer and allow to dry. Install the seam tape around the base of the curb on the deck. The seam tape should extend approximately a ½ inch past the corner of the curb on all sides. Do not remove the clear poly backing. Beginning at approximately a ¼ inch from the outside edge of the seam tape on the deck, measure the distance of the base of the curb and up the side of the curb. Using the cut piece of membrane from your curb, measure the distance and mark on the back of the membrane. This line will be lined up with the top edge of the curb when installed. Using TPO primer, prime 6 inches of the back side of the membrane opposite this line and allow to dry. Position this line at the top of the curb starting at a corner of the curb and fasten at the top with nails. It will be necessary to cut the corners at the top and bottom of the curb to allow the membrane to lay flat. Lay the membrane onto the clear poly and check to ensure that the tape will be exposed an 1/8 inch minimum to a ½ inch maximum on all sides. Round the corners of the membrane at the vertical seam. Trim the base back to the bottom of the curb and cut at a 45-degree angle. Peel off the release liner from the seam tape and mate the surfaces together by applying hand pressure towards the outside edge of the seam. Fold the membrane over and mark the edge. Using TPO primer, prime the vertical seam and allow to dry. Place a section of seam tape on the flashing and close the seam. Roll all seam areas with a 2-inch wide roller. Using the instructions on this video, apply outside corners to each corner of the curb. Apply a bead of lap sealant to all seams, edges, and then feather.